Guys, so it's it's Wednesday night. After supper, I decided I was gonna clean up and put all the Triumph stuff together in a nice compact little package where I can get at it, so it doesn't get spread out all over the friggin' place, get mixed up with other stuff, and then I can't find what I'm looking for. So I've done that, and yeah, it made out pretty good. Still have a fair amount of working room here, so I'm good to go. You know. Like, it's important in a small shop like mine, or any shop really, to keep your, stuff together and keep things in their place so that you've got room to work. I don't care if you've got 1,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet or 50,000 square feet. If you're anything like me, you're going to fill it up no matter what. So, I mean, I got a shed, lean-to shed in the back of this place. That's almost 400 square feet. This here is about 1,000 square feet. I got 800 square feet upstairs. I've got another small shed. My back porch, it's all full of car parts, bike parts, whatever. Plus I got, 4 or 5 vehicles in the yard. So, yeah, it doesn't take much to fill it up. So anyway, that's what I've done. I'll show you roughly what it looks like. Then we can get to work. So of course there's the bike table and the frame. It's all stripped down, bare frame. Wheels staying in the same spot that I started doing the demo on the bike. The tank I'm going to put away. I got the 2 bottom ends tucked in underneath, and the fenders are there, and the exhaust is just leaning up front. And I've got the engine work table, and down here is the rest of the Triumph. It's all in there, except for the back wheel. And that's it. So that's the whole thing. So I still have a ton of work area, and for the truck and everything else. So it's all good. So I guess my first order of business is to clean all the grease and oil and crap off the frame and start stripping it down to bare metal. And yeah, so I'm going to move it a little bit more to the end of the table, so you can get all the way around it. And we'll take some bar salt and then parts and equipment cleaner and clean this thing up, and then we can start stripping it. Because if I don't strip the oil and grease and stuff off of, all it does is clog up the discs. So what's the point? Okay, so I've done the bottom as everything I could see, and then I flipped it over and did everything on the bottom that I could see again. So it's pretty good. I'm ready to stand it up and go after it. What I've been using is this little guy here. Those little twist off discs, and they're pretty cheap. You get a bag of 100 for like 22 bucks, and they go quite a long way. So yeah, so I'm going to stand it up, clamp her down, and go ahead and get after the rest of it. A lot of guys are going to ask me, geez, Dad, why don't you just send it out and get it blasted? Well, you gotta remember where I live. Here in up in Sudbury, where I live, it's a mining town, basically, and all the industry is geared towards the mining sector. So, sandblasting, machine shops, all that kind of stuff. They don't even want to touch this stuff, and if they do take it on, they charge an arm and a leg. So I did call around. And they wanted 400 bucks to sandblast a motorcycle frame. No chance, not paying it. No way. Too much. So I'm doing it this way, and that's it. I've got the tools to get into all the little nooks and crannies. Good enough. I have a mini blaster, but it's winter time. You ever try blasting in the winter? It's no good. So this is what I'm doing, and that's it. So I'm just going to carry on and keep on stripping it. Alright, so this is actually a couple nights later. As you can see, I've been doing quite a bit of stripping on it, a little bit each night. It's going pretty good. It's cleaning up very nicely. One thing I can say about this frame though is I can't get over the quality of the welds. They're beautiful, every single one of them. The ones under the tank, or it's going to be under the seat. All the welds are really, really nice on it. It just goes to say something about the the workmanship and the quality of the bike. And I guess the guys who built them had pride in what they did, because like I said, I've worked on a lot of old bike frames, especially some Japanese stuff and old Harley stuff from the same era, and these are by far the nicest looking wells I've ever seen. So that's cool. Got a ways to go, a lot of little nooks and crannies. I got like a Dremel type tool that'll get into these little spots here and there, but I'm going to get the bulk of it done tonight for sure. Then I'll just have the little corners and stuff to do. Yeah, I'll grab the camera, a little bit closer look. There it is. It's coming along pretty good, inside and out. I got some areas down there, places that are tough to get. And I'm gonna have to take the frame and spin it this way and that, and turn it upside down and everything else, to get it all all of it shiny like that. So yeah, but it's in really good shape. Like I said, look at those welds. I mean, every one of them, they're beautiful, very nice, very impressed. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on, keep on rolling it, and get her stripped. I probably have about 2.5-3 hours into this so far, which isn't bad. So I look at it this way, I'm saving $400. All right, so I'm back to this thing. I've been off it for a couple of days. I blew my knee out. Hey, couldn't walk, couldn't sit, couldn't do a damn thing. So kind of just left this alone, took it easy. First thing I did tonight after supper, it's Wednesday night, I think. I took the triple trees out. Now I kind of left them in there for a reason. I wanted to look into getting a conversion for this for like a regular race with maybe like a roller bearing kind of deal. Because as these are now, basically you're just putting in regular ball bearings, like your 1/4-inch ball bearings. Lots of grease so they stay in place. And same top and bottom. And it can be a bit of a nightmare trying to get it together without dropping ball bearings and stuff. A lot of times they're dried up, or there wasn't enough grease to begin with. You pull them apart and there's ball bearings bouncing all over the freaking floor, and you end up losing a couple of them, and it's a pain in the ass. But lucky for me, there was enough grease in there, held them all together. And I use a little magnet to kind of pick them up in clumps and put them all into the lid of a jar. So there's my triple trees there. Sitting here, I put it on the motor bench just so it's all separate and everything. I know where everything is. And yeah, like I said, I just picked up the ball bearings like in clumps like so. So didn't lose any, didn't drop any. Don't want to do anything now. There we go. So they're all there. And like I said, I'm going to look into a conversion kit. I'm pretty sure they make them to go to, like I said, a race. Put a race in there with a regular roller type bearing, more modern stuff. We'll see if I have to use the ball bearings. Well, I got them, so no worries. So I'm going to carry on with stripping this thing because it's supposed to warm up in the next few days. So in the next 2 or 3 nights, I'd kind of like to spray this thing in primer and maybe even paint as well. So that's where I'm at. All right, so spent most of the day pulling my wire on the old truck, that is. And so after supper, I decided, well, I'll get back on this frame. I haven't really touched it most of the week. They said it's Friday night, about 8:30 now. But after supper, I came out and decided to finish cleaning off the frame and getting it ready for primer. I've done that, and it came out damn good. They said I used that little angle mini grinder deal for the most of it, and for the little corners and nooks and crannies and stuff, I used this guy with a little tiny bit on it, grinding stone, and that got in all the little nooks and crannies. The idea here being to knock off anything that's going to peel or flake off. So any loose shit, get it off there. Easiest way to tell that there's nothing loose there is if it's bare metal. So this thing is 99.9% bare metal. It's pretty much ready to go. Just got to wash it down and prime it. I'm going with a base clear on the frame. It's actually going to be a black, but it's got a bit of a flake in it. I'm using that because I have it. Price is right. left over from another job. Now this bike is basically going to be restored to original-ish. But I'm going to take liberties with the paint. It's my bike, and I'll do it with what I wish. So yeah, so I'm going to go with that. Now the thing here is that the tank, the oil tank, and the side cover are going to be painted to match the frame. So the oil tank's got a good ding in it. I got to straighten that out because I want to prime this stuff at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead, clean up a little bit, put the frame off to the side, and get after the oil tank. But before I do that, I'll just give you a quick look at this thing a little closer. So, like I said, you can see how I got into most of the nooks and crannies and all the little spots. If there is a spot you can't get to, you can use, you know, a wire brush wheel and a drill or whatever. But you know, yeah, it's pretty damn good. So, like I said, I'll just put this aside for now and dig out the oil tank and the side cover and get on those. Alright, so here's the oil tank and the side cover, and the oil tank, you can see the dent right there, and there's a little crease just above, or where is it? Oh, right here. Little crease right there, but filler will take care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and strip this down, and I've got just the right tool to pull that dent out. And then here, looks like this was pushed in at one time and then knocked out from the back, but a little too aggressively, so it's actually a dent pointing outwards. So a little hammer and dolly work, and looks like these pieces were painted with a brush or a broom or a stick or something. These holes, I don't know what they're for. There was nothing in them when I got it. Maybe you guys at home can tell me, or I can, you know, check out the whole internet and see what the hell those are about. And other than that, we're good to go. Okay, so I stripped both pieces down. I got a little bit to do down here in between all the lines and stuff. No biggie. So I'm ready to pull that dent out. First I'm going to do this. A couple things with this. There was a couple of rubber grommets in here that kind of slide onto the pins on the frame. They were super dried up and one was hanging on by a thread, so I just got rid of them. I have to put new ones in. And I did go on the internet and looked around. I did see like a badging, it says Bonneville, but nothing explains this big hole. And when I look at it a little closer, the edge inside is rough and it's not quite round. It's homemade. That's not from the factory. So I cut out a little piece. I'm welding her up and smoothing it out, and that's it. So yeah, right or wrong, I don't care. I prefer it to be smooth anyway. So I'm going to weld her up. Oh, jeez. Old welder is getting tired, man. What is going on with this thing? Well, I gotta fix this thing. Speed does not want to maintain, so something's binding or something. All right, like I thought, the spool was all tangled up in the welder. Anyway, freed up, got it welded, and everything looks good. It's cleaned up. So this is done, ready for body filler. And the other thing I had was this dent in the oil tank, and I said I got the perfect tool for that, and I do. The Stinger. And out she comes. What dent? Gone. All right, so these are both ready for body filler. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. All right, so I was just mixing up a little bit of body filler. That should do her. So, get that ready to get that set up and then sand it up, and might need a second shot just to touch her up. We'll see. All right, so the oil tank was good with the one application. The side cover needed a second shot. There was one low spot right here. So I'll just sand that out. Me and extension cords, man, they just don't mix. Good, done. So these two pieces in the frame are ready for prime and paint. that's about all I'm going to have time for. I'll wrap this up in a minute. Next week, prime and paint those pieces. All right, so there you go. Good progress on the Bonneville. So yeah, like I said, next week we'll prime and paint the frame and the side cover and oil bag, and yeah, that'll be done. And then I'll probably get started on the front end next. So yeah, hope you like what you're seeing, and you know, if you do, please subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And there's tons of other cool stuff on this channel as well. Besides the bike, there's well, the truck, of course, and then upcoming projects down the road. So yeah, there's always something going on here, and so stay tuned, check it out, and if nothing else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.